Hi folks, for the last time this weekend, as promised, we will watch the decisive game of Slovenia against Israel. So we just saw Slovenia reduce the deficit from 4-1 to 4-3. And this is the last chance to get the draw from this matchup, and it's going to be Lannister against Baratheon, and these two decks are, doing different stuff. So this one is heavily focused on intrigue, to the extent that it plays small council chamber with Castle Rock to get multiple challenges. Of course, there's the non-kneeling Cersei as well, and all the stuff around intrigue challenges. So Tyrion to gain gold, there's Tywin, there's Jaime, and the Rains plots are completely focused around that. We have Wardens, we have Spider's Web, we have Game of Thrones. These two. So in this matchup, actually not the greatest. So the pointy end would have been really nice, and Field Accusations would have been nice, but it's not here. So getting rid of the hand, if the Lannister deck does its thing, should be doable. There's also Sir Pounce, of course, and Myrcella, who doesn't kneel. Haven't mentioned her yet. And the regular plot deck, of course, Cersei always comes with two heads on spikes. She can gain some quick power with that. There's draw, there's the plot that gets rid of negative attachments. Eytan Majar to control initiative, and Morghulis, which is going to be important. And the Baratheon deck is completely different. So as you can see here, absolutely no defense against intrigue, but it's let's see how this looks with the power. It doesn't look that bad, but this one is completely focused on the power challenge on the other hand. So it plays Prince that was promised, names, I believe, not great ranging, King Stannis' host. There is also the King Stannis himself, also huge in power challenges, and Shireen, the 3-cost one that removes characters from power challenges, or any challenge, but she only has the power icon. And Sir Eldon is the other one, that's 3 copies here. Stands locations, and we have Sir Courtney as well. So what locations does he stand? He stands Storm's End, can turn other challenges into power as well, including intrigue from the opponent to stop Reigns completely, if that's the plan. And if Storm's End is in play, I think Baratheon is very difficult to beat in this matchup. Also has the Red Keep, some superior claim to speed up, Warhammer, there's some Intimidate. Stannis can get it, of course, and this army has Renown and Assault with its stand. And Assault is important because this deck is playing the new plot, Defiance of Duskendale, and there is a nice way with this to get rid of Castle Rock and Small Council Chamber, which is immune to events, but you can get rid of it this way. That's going to be a big plot. So also fights for the initiative. Also has Morghulis. So this double Morghulis, and bit of luck involved. Who gets the dupes, I guess. What else do we have? We have the same econ plot. We have Brand Builder to try to search for that Storm's End. And we have this. Okay, this is also econ because the army and Storm's End are reduced, so you can treat that as an 8 gold plot. And let's have it. So once again, 4-3 to Israel. And this is our setup. So Baratheon sets up Courtney and 3 very small characters with Gates of the Moon. And Lannister sets up Littlefinger, you never want to see that, with the Merchant. And Rose Road, only 6 gold spent. And what do we have for Sir Pounce? Sets up Sir Pounce, but doesn't have a legal target. That's can't actually do that, but it's difficult to correct on the Iron Throne because I think it does it already redraw the cards. Not sure. Can't technically do that. It should stay in hand if it's illegally set up. Easy to overlook, I guess. So we have the Maiden, and it's now slightly more difficult. If I played the test game where I opened with a plot other than for the element, then it's difficult to catch up. It's never a good chance to play it afterwards, and Lannister has the advantage with the initiative now, but this suggests that the army possibly, or Storm's End, is coming in. And yeah, Lannister is not winning power against this. So Tywin is strong, but Traitor is coming or something, or Shireen. But the intrigue very possible. And marshalling the Hound, which suggests that Saraaa wants maybe to keep that 1 gold for something. And here we go with the dupes. 1 here, nothing protected on the other side, and there is Storm's End. So now that's going to annoy Saraaa because it's going to prevent the Rains trigger, and in round 1, yeah, that's sucks really badly, because turning it into power just nullifies it because there is no power to steal. Unless, of course, you have the red keep to protect, you don't want to lose power challenges, of course, so still plenty of gold, and the reducers in play as well for something to come out. And if the army comes out, that's a very good start. If it doesn't, then the plan would be to search for it, which may require some work. Maybe then Storm's End needs to be used in a different way to achieve that. We'll see. Okay, this prompt suggests that yeah, Lannister getting prompted because treachery is a card, so you can just rush through the reducer triggers. And now what's coming in? Is it the army? I think it would spend all gold, right? Could be Stannis. Just give me a second, there's a rules question on Discord. Alright, so what has happened? Now there is the red keep to protect. And yeah, you don't want to lose the draw with only 4 cards. And yeah, this guy can now the 2 cards that we did not want to see, I can tell you. So he's just going to now force 3 power challenges each round. Something on defense, something on offense to strike back. And the red keep, yeah, now very difficult to stop the agenda trigger. So what does Lannister do? Could attack a intrigue with Tywin. Then if it's not changed into... By the way, treachery is a possibility still. If it's not changed into power, then the Rains will trigger. But if it's changed, then he has a good chance of stopping the red keep, right? Going for power first, for a military first, which seems pretty worthless, to be honest, because it's killing the reducer, or even, well, maybe not Jingle Bell. It's a rare intrigue icon, and I can't imagine he can search for much here. He can search for patch face, can he? Yeah, 1 copy of patch face in the deck and 1 copy of Moonboy. So, are we in the action window, or is Storm's End being considered? Okay, probably made the calculations for the entire phase, whether to how to do this to try to trigger the agenda and defend the red keep. Hound escapes. Now go to put him back and reduce her claim as expected. If only there was some kind of dupe here. You could try the early Morghulis just to get rid of Eytan. He's really a dominant character. But if you wait to find the Tywin dupe, then of course he can be duped as well eventually. Yeah. I think Sara's already up against it here. If she commits into the power challenge to deny the red keep, then the problem is that Baratheon triggers the agenda instead. Okay, forgets about the red keep, just searches for the army, and Eldon does a double Storm's End, right? And this is a weak one because it's not threatening Rains and doesn't need to be swapped, although it can be, because if you swap it into power, then he defends and he stands for it with 4 cards. Problem is now if you try to defend it with just Courtney and there is Widow's Well, then you've just messed up the red keep draw and his stand as well. But yeah, well, could defend with both, just to be safe. He stands and he still has, with the red keep, 6 strength. Can get past Tywin, but okay. Stand Storm's End and defends with both just to be safe. Now Widow's Well would still stop the agenda trigger. If you care about that. Otherwise, Tywin could stop the red keep. If he does. Yeah, okay. Stops the agenda trigger and Tywin could stop the red keep, so that would deny all draw, right? Or would it? No, because he stands. Yeah, he stands, and then if Tywin does another challenge on attack to stop the red keep, then he does one back to trigger the prince that was promised. And if Tywin does nothing, then maybe he does nothing, because he wants the red keep cards. And if Jingle Bells tries something, then maybe you trigger Rains on defense. What are the options there? You can't play Wardens because there's no gold. So honestly, there's no good options. It's, unless you do Wildfire to kill Jingle Bell, it's completely worthless. Varys' Riddle. That's pretty sad. It has nothing. Just no when revealed abilities. Almost only has Morghulis. If you can get a big enough board to trigger Varys' Riddle against the opponent's Morghulis with Rains, kills everything again. But that seems like not a great plan. Okay, so what's happening now? Doesn't that Oh, gold was spent with Widow's Well, yeah. I was going to say, doesn't it deny the red keep? No, Tywin will lose on defense. What's better to do here? Is it better to defend intrigue and let the red keep and the agenda trigger here? Well, oh, and superior claim. So that's all pretty costly. And remember, there's still Storm's End, so something else might be coming now. Grabbing it in hand against two heads on spikes is slightly tricky. Of course, the agenda can resurrect it, but can't play it while it's in the dead pile. So that's the one challenge that he can defend, he will defend, but this might be another. Yeah, this is another power challenge. Max 1 per challenge, imagine if there's another one in hand. So does he defend this one just to stop the unopposed, but then, yeah, he doesn't defend this one. No good way to go about this, unfortunately. Maybe the military challenge with the Hound was not really necessary. I would keep him in play. He had a lot of strength in the power challenge to stop all of this triggers. Now Baratheon has achieved a great round here. Got full hand from that. Got 5 power from nothing. And grabbed the great... I keep calling it great range and grabbed the host. So now what? Heads on spikes and try to kill it. Can't Morghulis now with the army in hand. Hits the character, but not the one she was aiming for. What's the goal situation? 9, plenty to and the reducer, so 10 in all. Plenty to play the army. And the other side not bad either with Tywin, so maybe getting Cersei or Jaime into play would be decent. There could be some kind of plan to just keep the super strong Tywin, but there's 2 milks and 2 traitors, so I wouldn't count on that being successful. Maybe if there's leftover gold this time, the Hound can be in hand. And yeah, you know, there's 6 strength on the power challenge potentially to mess up Baratheon's plans. There she is. Casterly Rock. Oh, okay, there's a dupe. Unfortunately not quite enough, you're not playing Morghulis to kill this too, right? He can still trigger against Storm's End. So if two intrigue challenges are initiated, he can get the goal to get a Hound as well. Yeah, but maybe Jingle Bell won't be helping in that way. Game plays completely differently, right? When you know that neither player is playing the Harris, you can just go for everything. And it's not bad, but I'm afraid it might not be enough because Baratheon is so strong, and controlling the power challenge wins against a deck focused on intrigue challenges if you get Storm's End like that. She doesn't have Renown, so she's not going to be triggering if her challenges are changed to power, even if she is standing. Remember, 2 milks still to be played. He does have Renown. It's not very quick. Okay, what's the card in shadows? Is it the red Keep Goaler? I think that's that or Shireen. I think those are the only ones. So the Goaler can just come in for free now. The power, yeah, would be safe on Courtney, I guess. Can be moved with the fiefdoms, but none in play at the moment. And yeah, if only Storm's End wasn't here, right? This lone Jingle Bell could do nothing against the intrigue challenges. But unfortunately, it is in play now. Tyrion, if he does intrigue, can stealth past Courtney, for instance. Because he is an annoying, the annoying one that stands each time you do the Storm's End trick. Could also stealth against this, and then it's not enough to defend against Cersei and Tyrion together if it's changed into power, I think. Although if the Goaler is here, that would be enough then. Well, if it gets changed, I think it's going to get changed anyway. Otherwise, you just get raised into Game of Thrones, right? Can't have that happening now. Is there a treachery? That would be pretty amazing here, I think, for Lannister. If that gets treacheried, then Reigns into Game of Thrones, and she gets her gets her power for a card being discarded. But now it's changed to power. Now that means it's a 10 strength power, or now 8 because of the host. Yeah, forgot about that as well. So easy to defend. Look at the strength of these guys, and stealth as well, and still you can just about get it, right? Treachery on the stand. Well, why not treachery the Storm's End? Could have played Game of Thrones. Would be getting yeah, fourth power and basically end the challenges phase there. But maybe that's not what Saraaa is looking for here. Just delays the same scenario for a round. Okay, she treacheries the stand but doesn't go for another power. Now this guy with the red keep has 8. So there was some kind of chance to push it through and deny the red keep and get the power claim, but then Lannister could just, Baratheon could just leave it unopposed, right, and then strike back. Try to stand it that way. But now it's Baratheon that has 10 on attack. How about this guy? With Storm's End standing. 10 on attack. And what's the situation here? So 19, but they all get -1, yeah. You can block it. And if he does an intrigue challenge and changes it into power, then 1 gold spent for treachery. Not enough to bring the hound in, unfortunately. In that case, it's not great, because it forces, I think it forces a defender, let's say Tywin, to get renown on defense, and then the army can beat Cersei and Littlefinger. Not to win by 5, but it can win. Only half an hour left, less than that, and yeah, we're in round 2. So quite a slow game again. I think that's the play. Do an intrigue with Jingle Bell, change it into power, force a defender, then push the real power challenge through. Or maybe can it be defended by the 6 strength one, and then these two would have... Tywin would get more from Tyrion. Yeah, maybe it can be done. Maybe you can just pass. You could do military. Not changed into power, which means it is military, and this guy is not winning the power challenge or an intrigue challenge, and there is an expendable merchant here, right? So okay, unopposed, gives renown away. Not great, but not terrible. Not letting even that one through. Cersei and Tywin will defend. Just highlight this for anyone who doesn't know the card. My mind is my weapon. Very good one. I'm not sure why it's not played more. Guess that type of Lannister deck doesn't really... you don't see it that much, so... But it's a good card, so... Character with an intrigue icon, which Lannister has plenty. Just participates in military challenge without kneeling. It's like an extra stand or whatever, even stronger, because don't really need the corresponding icon. It's just a strong card, similar to the Baratheon one. No song so sweet. And what's this doing now? Is it changing into power? Otherwise it has to change into power, right? Otherwise Rains is going to trigger for wardens on defense. Does that work? Yeah, it works on defense. Pays 2 gold to get rid of 2 cards. Although if you're changing it to power, then you're losing red keep, so why do this challenge? That seems suicidal here. But maybe there's another trick. If this is the Gowler, he comes in and he has 6 on the power challenge with the red keep. And it's enough to beat either of these two. Although wardens give some more power to Cersei. And then if you could kill Cersei and Tywin in one go if you play Morghulis, but the one who pulls the trigger on Morghulis is at a disadvantage, of course, with the gold. I'm sure that's going to trigger into wardens now. Is there another option? Maybe there's something else. No. Has to be wardens. Could be Game of Thrones to stop Gowler, but what if this is Shireen? Then basically we've done nothing. Red keep still available, right? So that's going to redraw. It's not terrible for Baratheon, although I'm really not sure why this was necessary to do this, unless Baratheon wants to do a proper power challenge with the Gowler, get some more power that way, and if there's superior claim. No, actually no, this guy's still standing, so he can stop the win by 5. If you Morghulis, you keep Courtney and you search for Patchface. Cersei and Tywin are dead, which in the long run is brilliant. You're up against Tyrion then, and I think what's happening? You need to play the Gowler first. I think yeah, so that's going to get some power, and if Morghulis was the plan, he would stay in Shadows, right? So that's not. I was thinking Lannister probably goes Heads on Spikes next. Could play Beyond Reproach at some point to put power back, make sure it's not wasted, but I think Heads on Spikes first. Cersei gains power whatever happens, and good chance there's characters. But now we have treachery, one treachery gone, this event gone, it's only one in the deck, and it looks much trickier to repeat this relatively good round for Lannister again. If only Lannister could have one round where Game of Thrones is played. With another treachery, it's a possibility. Now I would consider Heads on Spikes. And what does Baratheon have? Do they have Clash of Kings? Sure do. Clash of Kings with 3 power challenges, yeah. That's that just gets within power or 2 of winning, if not just winning outright. So let's see it. So Clash of Kings against Heads on Spikes. I've not really guessed correctly at any point today, so maybe this is one for me. Let's see. Not quite. Heads on Spikes against Brand the Builder. Is there anything else left to find? Fury, maybe a fiefdom, nothing much. And okay, maybe you can get from 6 to 15 with Clash of Kings, but does it really matter? You just get close to victory. So unfortunately Cersei doesn't get a character. And this could be important because Lannister is going to struggle to close the game. Would be better, but okay. That stops the power gain from the other side. That's the last one, right? So what now? Saraaa goes first. If she has a treachery, she can do a big intrigue challenge, cancel Storm's End, and flip into Game of Thrones. But it's not easy because Baratheon also has 2 copies of Privileged Position in the deck. Now another thing could be just to leave him with his humongous strength, but then if Stannis comes in, this army gives him stealth, and if Traitor comes in on him, then that plan fails. There's also the Hound. He is pretty big, so can't really just push every challenge against him. Okay. And I don't think this guy will care about the strength, so he's just going to... Okay, gets 2. He's just here for the save, and now Lannister has 2 saves and Baratheon has 1. At the moment. But whoever plays Morghulis is left with a 0 claim plot and a bad round against something like Clash of Kings. There were more dupes. There was a dupe on Tywin as well. Marshalling him again. It is cheaper and there's no surprises with him, but he can be equipped now with negative attachments and he can be stealthed. There's not much stealth in Baratheon. Okay, so dupe on Eldon, that means neither player will trigger the Morghulis now, right? Unless it's time about to run out and there's a bunch of power that would go away and swing it. And here comes the stealth, yeah. Spend the gold at least, so if there is a treachery, odds against, but if there is one, you could do intrigue into Game of Thrones, but that would be so much better to do on the Clash of Kings turn. It would just ruin... no, it wouldn't ruin Baratheon's game, because Baratheon goes first. Then I do the other 2 challenges first, right? And by that time the damage is done. Cersei is here for the power gain. No small council chamber though, but that's not getting any power against Storm's End. Okay. I'm not very impressed, but it's something. Can do a challenge, and if it's turned into power, it's a big attacker still that needs to spend some resources. The annoying thing is that he stands all the time, so really limits the resources you are actually spending. Changing it into power. That will still be big power, and it's not cancelled. Now, how does Baratheon respond? So starting this, how much strength is there? Strength 20. What's the action strength though? Because the army has the modifier 16, right? So we need 17 to win. 2 from the red keep and this guy, so that's 6. And 7 here is 13 and 1 of the characters. Okay, leaves you with 2 standing characters and then he stands. Or do you let it go? Just let it go. Not spend any resources, maybe just defend with one guy to keep it opposed, and then okay, you're not getting the red keep, but you have so much standing stuff to strike back. Okay, invests in the defense. Any tricks? No, don't think there are any in the deck really. So Brand the Builder grabs something that's not going to make any difference, right? Rose Road. And now, is there any chance to do something with the proper power challenge? 16 left, no more stealth. No, so they can just defend. Although not to win by 5 if everyone attacks on the power challenge. But that's one you do let through, right? No reason not to. And now I think maybe Tywin goes for military. Can defend power. And there's other intrigue defenders. Although you can turn that into power. Just defend with Courtney again. Yeah. There's really not much Lannister can do in the situation. With all the strength, just a complete lockdown. So, you will probably know that I'm a huge fan of Storm's End and I've played it in 2 control decks as a key card. But this is really there's three types, I guess, three types of decks that Baratheon plays. There's Control, either with Neil or some other form with Black Cells maybe. There's Rush with Qohor or sometimes Brotherhood. And then there's this focus on power challenges, which I guess some of those decks that I play are in part, I guess, Summer and Assault do like to focus on the power challenges, but this one is more aggressive with it, so it has the big characters instead of the control elements, and this is where Storm's End is also incredibly good and incredibly important. But this deck is hugely expensive. You can just look at the costs of all the cards in play. It's tough to get it together, but now in this game where there is no threat of Harris, and just play everything, and the boards, everything stays in play. Yeah, it's such a huge wall to get over. And yeah, it's only the rush type of deck where Storm's End doesn't really fit because of the tempo hit. If you got it for free and had the Bara Qohor, it would be great, but you don't get it for free. But here you take the tempo hit because it pays off. In Control, it can pay off. First round, you just turn military into power on defense, for instance. And here it pays off by allowing you to do more than one challenge where you are the strongest, with your guys like Stannis, like the army, like Courtney. And yeah, it's going to waste time in here. Has the traitor, so Courtney can defend for free. And now Storm's End stays knelt, right? So no double power challenges to strike back with. Which is slightly surprising, but I guess Baratheon is ahead and will play Clash of Kings next round. No need to worry about 15 power, just stay ahead, use Storm's End wisely. Just don't do this again. Although, what's the Reins deck now? Yeah, nothing really you can do. You can do Wildfire Assault. That would change the board state, but it's questionable who would gain the advantage. So what's the power situation? 14. Fury found will be useful. Can take power off these guys. So 18 to attack with, and on defense we have 18, but then the modifier. And now we have this. This will take Courtney's power back. Yeah. Just defending with one guy. Guess the agenda will trigger to stand the host, right? Then the host and Courtney can do military. better use it on the host now, because Lannister is done, can't win the game, so may as well go for Morghulis and see what happens. But yeah, there's never a lack of cards, right? Against the deck that plays Wardens of the West and Spider's Web, Casterly Rock, but just absolutely no chance to push the Intrigue Challenge through. Is there a way to win without playing Morghulis? We have an econ plot, we have Beyond Reproach. Nothing much. Yeah, just in case, saving the power. This looks like round 4 will be the last one. That's not great, let's be honest, in terms of speed. So if there was some kind of Martel deck that was trying to win on, was trying to turn it around in the late game, playing this slowly would not be great. But I think it doesn't matter here. The lockdown is achieved, and this is going to be Clash of Kings now. If I missed it again, yeah, okay. What does Bronze save? Too bad the Hound didn't escape. Does he save Cersei? Tywin dies and now the traitor comes back, so it's going on Cersei. And then you turn her Intrigue Challenges into power. She attacks standing with 0 strength. This guy is going to find Moon Boy just in case. Just in case these were all Rose Roads or something. Okay, let's see the marshalling. Maybe the concession will come. But I wonder what's coming into play here. Nothing much, I would imagine. There's not much left. Just Shireen and John Arryn or something, which is plenty. Even against an empty board would be difficult to lose now from 9-4. Well, unless Baratheon plays Teach on his stories, who is not in the deck. I did once win a game where I had Teach on his stories and gave control to my opponent when time ran out. But I can tell you it doesn't work out reliably. It's goofy, and with open deck lists, no chance to pull that off. And no concession, okay. So I guess Baratheon will get the satisfaction of getting to 15 power here. Yeah, nothing much to be said. I think it was the first round went really badly, and after that there was nothing to be done really. Baratheon had complete control of this game. Maybe not marshalling the Hound, keeping him as a surprise, but he was in play round 1, so it wasn't much of a surprise. To somehow tempt Baratheon into a misplay to lose one of the power challenges with Courtney, something like that was a possibility, but yeah, not very realistic. So what do we have now? We have let's say unopposed power. That's 12 with this trigger, right? And then Storm's End can do another power that could then be opposed. And another with no intrigue icon, so just the two. Okay. Yeah, I think Saraaa can stop it at 14, right? But the result is inevitable, so let's just start the congratulations now. So congratulations to Team Israel, who wins this matchup with 5 wins to 3. And yeah, nothing really to regret or look back on. They had some solid games that went their way, and we suspected they would. So there was 1 or 2 games that were close that could have gone either way, I guess. Had some chances there, but yeah, Israel was the stronger team. And that's their first win, so they have 1 win and 2 losses. So I don't think that's going to be enough to make it through. I'm not really sure how the combinations work out, if you can get through with 2 wins. The tiebreaker is the number of individual games won, I think, so if someone has some crazy 8-0 wins, maybe they can get through that way. I guess this will be more obvious when we look at the situation before the last Swiss round, which is next week, and then we can start focusing, I guess, on the teams that are playing for getting into the cut. So that's 12, and power climb and clash would be 14, but I think it can be opposed now. No military icon, so you can just not change it. It's less power, but kills a character. Guessing that there is some lag because there is no reason to think on anything here. Unless you hit concede, game is won. And I guess that's the proper military challenge. Yeah, Widow's well. He can defend it. Alright. Small victories, yeah. Corset combo with Widow's well giving Joffrey the military icon. Joffrey, pretty prominent character, never had a playable version really. This one was forgotten quite quickly after the corset when more options became available. And the 7 coster is, well, it's great for some kind of puzzle scenario where you need to get a kill off, but in actual games it's not doing much. It's the faction card as well, so maybe a more playable Joffrey would be something to consider for the design team in the future. So it's 12-2 now. Is Saraaa going to do challenges? Come on, do intrigue with Cersei. Let Storm's End change it. You can flip into the spider's web, and then Tyrion can do another one. Yeah, that's not beating Davos with red keep. But Clash can't trigger because there's no more power. And the Fiefdom is spent, can't do this. No Fury in play. Was found earlier with Brand the Builder, but 2 gold remaining. Maybe just to be safe, keeping it for privileged position on Treachery. Alright, so this one went on 20 minutes too long when it was already pretty much over. But alright, good game to end with. 2 completely different decks, and whichever got their strategy through would win. And in testing we did find that Baratheon does that more often than not, virtually every time basically. So yeah, well played to Israel, and I think I've already said all I wanted to say on this one, so I believe that's it. Not sure if any other games are being played tonight, so didn't really get much recorded this week, only from this matchup, which to be fair was quite interesting. But we'll see what we can do next week. Maybe focus a bit more on the teams that are directly competing for the cut. So thanks for joining me on the games this week, and see you next time.